Big man, next game up, December 21st, 4 p.m. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl from Boise, Idaho. We got WMU, Western Michigan versus BYU. BYU laying a big number here, big man. Minus 12, seeing 48.5 the total at SBR odds right now. How would you look to bet Western Michigan versus BYU?
Yeah, you said that minus 12, Drew, with a lot of conviction there. Minus 12. Seems like a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
It's kind of my thoughts. But I'm looking at this game and I'm saying to myself, you know, are we smelling a rat here? Are they telling us kind of where to go in this game? Is Western Michigan, if they've really limped in. I mean, Drew, they've lost three of their final four games. The Caleb Ellaby change wasn't easy. It didn't work out great. The goal for Brigham Young is they want to stop the run, you be pretty solid on defense, and run the football. With Squally Canada and guys like that. For many years, Brigham Young has struggled moving the football. But this is a game where I think it really suits them as far as the environment. I'm not saying it doesn't suit Western Michigan, but it's out on the West Coast. It's a long trip for Western Michigan, and that's something, Drew, that I think I'll kind of anchor back to our friend and former SBR personality Joe Duffy. Joe Duffy many years told me about kind of the travel schedules and how many miles these teams travel. That can obviously add up. BYU's not going very far. They're familiar with this atmosphere. They're not going to be out the night before, and that's something that's important. I know a guy, Drew, that played at Maryland University about 10 years ago. He played with Nolan Carroll and a couple players that are in the NFL, and he mentioned to me. I asked him one time, "What was the worst bowl matchup for you?" And he said, "We had a game in Boise, and it wasn't good. We had a lot of players that got in trouble the night before. Boise's actually a pretty decent, lively night scene. I'm guessing since then they probably improved how they take care of their football players. But you always got to make sure you always see these news and notes: player gets suspended or player's not going to play and stuff like that. And for a team like Western Michigan that right now has major issues on the defensive side of the ball, I worry about that. This Western Michigan team over the last four games give up 45 points a game. All year they give up 33 points a game. They're a defense that struggled. And for an offense like BYU, this is a great defense to face because you can run the football. You have a success doing that. You can kind of let your quarterback maybe complete some passes over the middle to a big tight end. We know Brigham Young; they're going to be in their beds by 8 o'clock. They don't even drink coffee. That's how astute they are as far as rules are concerned. I just think if I'm looking at a team like BYU, they're exactly the type of bowl team I want. 12 is kind of telling in this game. And I think it makes sense. I think Western Michigan is really limping in here. I don't know how good this team is, especially without John Wasink. I don't think Ellaby's very good at all. And I think against a stone-nosed defense like Sataki's BYU, I think they're going to have a lot of trouble moving the ball in this game because if you make Ellaby throw the ball, you're going to just stack the box and hope he can beat you. And I don't think he can. I think the number tells you something here.
I agree with you, big man. I think the number is very telling in this game. 48.5. I do think seems a little low. It also speaks to the fact that, like you just said, BYU's defense looks to control this game. The switch at quarterback, both of these teams had a switch at quarterback. And the WMU side, it was way for the worse. BYU, I think it added mobility from the quarterback position.
Yep.
I think the Cougars became more of a bet-on team towards the end of the season. I would look for it to continue. You brought up a lot of good points about BYU not getting into kind of the mess of the nightlife there in Boise. I did not know Boise was a good nightlife, big man, but thanks for bringing that up. And I agree with you, big man. I think Boise BYU minus 12 is the side here. I'm going to lock it in as well. Big man, any closing thoughts on the famous Idaho Potato Bowl?
Yeah, and you look at kind of around Boise, or not Boise, around the BYU program. They've been to Boise this year. They lost to Boise State 21-16 early in the season. They're excited to make the return trip. You look at some of the quotes out of BYU. I love potatoes. Let's get it. Says their junior wide receiver, their freshman quarterback, very excited about the opportunity. They want to go back to Boise, a place that they're pretty familiar with, and they want to get the job done here. Boise is a place that BYU knows well. I think it'll translate into a nice game for them here. I think it's a pretty good matchup. And look, to think that if you're out there thinking, oh, well, I don't think BYU can beat a blow any team out. They blew out a ton of teams this year, and particularly late in the season, beat up on a bad UMass defense, beat up on New Mexico State, dropped 30 on some other teams. They can blow a team out. I look at this game, I think it's like a 31-10 type of game. I think BYU will really get after it on defense, and I think this environment will suit them well.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.